1 week ago, her legs felt like they were glued to the floor, and every attempt to stand felt like lifting weights. The shoes pinched by late afternoon, sleep came in short shards because of sudden cramps, and there was a dull ache that followed her from the kitchen to the garden. It is a quiet kind of suffering that many people over 60 know too well. But here is the honest part that surprised everyone around her. After 7 days, she felt a clear change. The heaviness eased, the cramps became less frequent, and she walked to the corner store without bracing herself for pain. It was not a new prescription, not a clinic device, and not a complicated treatment. It was a simple kitchen oil, warmed and massaged into the calves at night, an old method revived with a small twist that brought real comfort without side effects. This video is for you if your legs feel tired, swollen, or tight, and you want a natural, accessible routine that can bring relief in days. Before we go on, please comment your age and where you are watching from. If you like practical, natural tips for mobility and comfort, subscribe so you do not miss more. Stay with me and you will learn exactly how to prepare this oil, how to apply it step by step, what to expect each day, and 3 safe variations you can try at home. Now let us look briefly at why legs change with age and what is happening under the skin. It did not happen overnight. After 60 years, many bodies show slower circulation, weaker venous return, and a tendency to hold fluid in the lower limbs. Muscles that once pumped blood effectively during walking can lose tone when activity falls. Inflammation from long days on the feet or from salt-heavy meals can increase swelling. Small habits add up. Sitting for long periods, wearing restrictive shoes, and skipping gentle movement all make the problem worse. Understanding this simple physiology helps explain why a topical routine plus movement can make a meaningful difference. Evelyn did not wake up one morning with this pain. She grew up in a house where hands were always busy. As a child, she learned to peel apples for the neighbor Mrs. Rivera while smelling citrus and fresh bread, and she learned to stand for long family meals without complaint. Those early memories are sensory anchors. She remembers the rasp of wooden chairs, the cool weight of stone steps under bare feet, and the smell of lavender drying in the attic. Those small details still surface when she closes her eyes and remembers feeling capable and light. As a young adult, she trained as a school secretary and spent decades on her feet organizing classrooms and fixing lunch schedules. The work was steady and gave her pride. Her life was shaped by routines of care and practicality. Later, she married Tom, raised 2 children with patience and patience. Again, and taught the neighborhood kids to ride bikes. Those years of standing and moving kept a quiet ledger in her legs. Now at 68, she lives alone in a small house with a garden where she tends rosemary and basil. Lately, she noticed the steps felt steeper, the walk to the mailbox slower, and a fear that small outings might end in pain. That fear tightened her chest. She is the kind of person who does not like fuss. She dislikes long medical appointments and prefers remedies that are simple, understandable, and safe. The current problem, connected to a history of standing, to mild swelling that flared after long afternoons, and to nights broken by cramps. This history matters because it explains why a ritual of massage and circulation support would fit into her life more easily than one more pill. It was a Tuesday when the discovery happened. She was reorganizing her pantry to make room for jars of tomatoes and found a small amber bottle behind coffee tins. The label had faded, but the scent when she uncapped it was unmistakable, a warm, green aroma of olive oil infused with rosemary and a faint note of eucalyptus that made her inhale. She called her neighbor Maria, who lived across the hall, and Maria popped her head in immediately. Evelyn said, "I think this is what my grandmother used." And Maria said, "That smell takes me back to her kitchen." They opened the bottle and rubbed a drop between fingers. The oil felt silky and warm as it spread, leaving a soft herbal warmth on the skin. John from next door, who was pruning his roses, stuck his head out and asked what the commotion was. Evelyn laughed and said, "Come smell this, it is like a memory." John smiled and said, "My mother used mustard oil when I was a boy." Maria teased about old remedies and suggested trying it tonight after a bath. The exchanges were small and familiar. Maria said, "Try a small patch first." Evelyn said, "I will." John said, "If it helps, bring me a little." That evening, Evelyn warmed 3 tablespoons gently in a bowl placed over warm water until the scent rose. She sat on a chair in the kitchen, feeling the warm light on her arms, inhaled the rosemary notes, and applied a teaspoon to each calf. The oil slid like silk against skin. The fingertips felt the slight resistance of old tight muscles, and the room smelled like herbs and lemon cleaner. She massaged for 7 minutes in long strokes toward the heart while listening to the hum of the refrigerator and the distant call of a bus. That first touch was both mundane and strange because it connected to childhood comfort and to a practical step forward. The discovery moment had sensory details of sight, sound, smell, touch, and memory that made it feel like fate rather than accident. Here is the exact ritual to follow. Use a high-quality extra virgin olive oil infused with rosemary and a few drops of eucalyptus or lavender for circulation support. Warm about 2 to 3 tablespoons in a ceramic bowl over hot water until pleasantly warm but not hot to the wrist. Sit comfortably and clean the skin with a damp cloth. Apply a teaspoon to each calf, then massage in long upward strokes toward the knee and then toward the thigh for 5 to 7 minutes per leg. Use moderate pressure, enough to feel the muscles but not to cause pain. Finish with gentle pressing motions along the inner calf toward the knee and then light taps from ankle to knee to stimulate circulation. Perform this after a warm bath or shower when vessels are more relaxed and the oil absorbs better. Do this nightly for 7 days. If you prefer a morning routine, perform a shortened 2-minute massage after walking for 5 minutes to encourage venous return. For variation, you can add a teaspoon of arnica-infused oil if you tolerate it, or a few drops of ginger-infused oil for warming. Always patch test on a small area and stop if you notice irritation. Avoid massage over open wounds or on very varicose and painful veins without consulting a clinician. These steps are simple, clear, and repeatable. Day by day, the changes are subtle, then clearer. Day 1 brought a soft surprise. Her calves felt looser, and the night cramps were slightly less severe. She noticed the oil smelled relaxing, which helped her fall asleep. Day 2, she walked to the mailbox without stopping twice, and the shoes were less tight by late afternoon. Day 3, she reported to Maria that there was less dull ache and that sitting for longer was easier. Day 4, she felt energized enough to prune the tomato plants, and the swelling under the ankle had reduced a bit. Day 5, she slept through most of the night and woke with less tension behind the knee. Day 6, she met Peter at the market, who said, "You look like you are walking lighter," and Peter watched her stride with a new ease. By day 7, she went for a short morning walk around the block and returned smiling, her legs feeling not perfect but notably more comfortable than before. Each day included small sensory markers: the warmth after massage, the smell of rosemary lingering on sheets, the sensation of boots fitting more easily, the softer pressure when she crossed her legs, and the experience of deeper sleep. Record the changes in a simple journal each night, noting sleep quality, swelling, and any pain to track progress and adjust. There were moments of real tension that tested her resolve. The first moment came when a simple trip to the pharmacy became a crisis because she could not climb the 2 steps without pausing. She stood at the railing, gripping it with both hands, and felt a flush of panic, thinking, "What if this is permanent?" Her vision narrowed to the immediate difficulty. The world became sharp and small, and for a moment she worried about losing independence. She sat on a bench while breathing slowly in through the nose and out through the mouth, focusing on the texture of the bench wood under her palms and the cool air on her cheeks. She called Tom and spoke in short sentences about small victories and about trying the oil nightly. Talking helped diffuse the fear and reminded her she was not alone. The second tension point arrived on the 3rd night when a cramp woke her and the old thought returned: maybe this will not work. The pain was sudden, a tight trumpet of muscle that made her gasp, the bedsheets cold and slightly rough against her skin, and the floor lamp casting a small circle of light. She pressed her thumb into the muscle and used a simple stretch, then applied warmed oil and breathed slowly until the spasm eased. She kept a small glass of water and a bowl with a lemon slice on the bedside table to sip and inhale. By the fourth night, the frequency had dropped dramatically, and the confidence grew. The third moment of tension came when Peter voiced doubt at the market, saying, "Perhaps it is only coincidence." That public skepticism stung and made her doubt for a day. She remembered the textured scent of the oil, the warmth on her skin, and the small daily improvements. She chose to continue the ritual with quiet steadiness and let results speak louder than words. There are safe alternatives and simple variations to personalize this routine. If you prefer a lighter oil, use a refined coconut oil or sweet almond oil infused with dried rosemary. For extra anti-inflammatory support, blend a teaspoon of arnica oil with olive oil, but do not use arnica on broken skin. If there is notable swelling, you can add 3 drops of lemon essential oil to help a fresh scent, but avoid citrus oils on sun-exposed skin. For those who have sensitive skin, use a base oil like grapeseed, which is less likely to clog pores. You can combine the massage with a gentle compression sock for daytime support after the morning routine. For a warming variant, try adding a small pinch of ground ginger to a jar of oil and let it sit for a few days, then strain. Each variation should be tested in a small patch area and be introduced one at a time. If you are on blood thinners or have active vein conditions, check with your doctor before using herbal topical blends. These simple swaps increase flexibility while keeping the core ritual intact. To maximize and maintain benefits, adopt 3 habits that complement the oil routine. First, daily gentle walking for 15 to 20 minutes improves the calf muscle pump and venous return. Notice the sound of shoes on pavement, the rhythm of breath,
and the temperature on your skin. Second, reduce excess salt at dinner, which can lower nighttime fluid retention and improve sleep comfort. Swap canned foods for fresh vegetables and season with herbs you grow, like rosemary and basil. Third, elevate the legs 15 to 20 minutes after dinner using cushions under the calves, not under the knees, and feel the gravity shift as fluid moves away from the ankles. Add ankle circles and short heel raises while holding a chair to engage muscles. Small, consistent actions make the topical work more powerful. These habits are gentle, affordable, and realistic for people over 60. People often have questions, so here are answers to common concerns. Does this work with varicose veins? Yes, it can help with subjective feelings of heaviness and reduced swelling, but it is not a treatment for severe varicose disease. For bulging veins or painful nodes, consult a vascular specialist. What about men and people over 80? Yes, men and older adults respond to simple massage and circulation support, but begin slowly and speak with your doctor if you have complex health issues. How long before you expect change? Expect some sensory improvement in 1 to 3 days and clearer differences around day 7. What if there's no change after 2 weeks? Stop and check with a clinician, as there may be other causes like heart, kidney, or vascular conditions. Is it safe with medications? Topical oils are generally safe, but if you take blood thinners or have severe skin conditions, consult your provider. When should I see a doctor? Immediately, if there is sudden, severe pain, swelling that is warm, red, or accompanied by fever, seek urgent help. The close of the story is practical and warm, and then we follow with a longer look forward. In a few sentences, she summed it up for friends, saying a small nightly habit helped her feel more like herself again. Remember the 3 simple steps. Clean the skin, warm a little oil, and massage toward the heart for 7 minutes nightly, and combine with short walks, less salt, and 15 minutes of leg elevation. If you are worried about visible veins or persistent pain, see your clinician. Tell us in the comments your age and where you watch from, and share what worked for you. If this story matters to you, subscribe for more practical natural routines. Take care of your legs. They have carried you this far. 1 month later, Evelyn noticed consistent changes that went beyond a single week. The first 3 days had established a habit, and by the end of the month, the ritual fit into her life. She no longer had to persuade herself to perform the massage because the scent of rosemary on the kitchen jar reminded her, and the simple act of warming the oil became a small ritual of comfort. Mornings felt clearer, and the walk to fetch the newspaper was steady instead of cautious. She kept a journal,
noting days when sleep was better and days when swelling was low. And that feedback loop guided small adjustments like adding a brief ankle exercise after watering the plants. Her social life changed in small ways too. She accepted a neighbor invitation to an afternoon tea and walked with a friend without planning long pauses. The long-term change felt sustainable because she had matched a meaningful routine to daily life and to memories that made it pleasant. At 3 months, the benefits had layered into daily function and mood. The massage skin looked softer and less puffy, and she found herself standing longer at the garden bench to prune without needing to sit after 10 minutes. Friends like Maria and Peter noticed a visible ease in her stride and complimented her, which reinforced the habit. The combination of movement, improved diet, and nightly massage reduced episodes of nighttime cramps to rare events. She also found that small seasonal changes mattered. Keeping hydrated in warmer months and using lighter socks helped maintain circulation. Consultations with Dr. Alvarez, a local physiotherapist, confirmed that the simple routine was a supportive self-care strategy alongside measured exercise. He encouraged her to maintain the habit and to continue regular check-ins with a clinician for any new symptoms. At 6 months, the change was less about dramatic improvement and more about regained confidence and dignity. Evelyn could plan a weekend trip without worrying that her legs would limit her activities. She taught a small community class at the library about simple circulation habits and gave away small jars of rosemary infused oil to neighbors Linda, Tom, and Susan who had asked to try it. The jar symbolized community care. The ongoing practice had become a way to honor decades of standing and moving and to invest in future mobility. She still monitored symptoms and stayed connected with her doctor, but the ritual had shifted from remedy to daily self-care, a reliable action that supported comfort, sleep, and participation in life. If you try this, remember to patch test and consult your doctor when in doubt. Share your experience below with your age and where you are watching, and subscribe for more stories and simple routines that help people feel lighter and more confident as they move through their days. Care for your legs, they carried you this far and deserve your attention.